let us look at this in this JKMR Memorial Lecture. I would like to offer a historical perspective on the evolution of Indian Constitution. I assure you that this journey is quite exciting. It has many ups and downs, and interspersed with a lot of surprises that I hope you will find fascinating. In all, there were as many as 12 major attempts at making Indian Constitution. And guess who was one leader? Who was one leader who was common to most, if not all, of these 12 efforts? Not Mahatma Gandhi, not Jawaharlal Nehru, not Sardar Patel. It was indomitable Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar who was the common factor in most of these efforts at making the Indian Constitution. That is why I have titled my address today as 55 years of constitution making in India, the role of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. So, ladies and gentlemen, let the journey begin. The first attempt at constitution making, you will be surprised, was inspired by Lokmanya Tilak. The year was 1895, and there was a Swaraj Bill of 1895, and this was promoted by Miss Annie Besant, and it was considered the first articulation of constitutional imagination of Indian people. This constitution laid down number of things, including citizens' rights, freedom of expression, right to property. Curiously, this draft constitution also included provision for right to bear arms, which was, of course, unlikely to be accepted. This constitution was remarkable in the sense that it had a provision of compulsory primary education way back in 1895. This was the first attempt which did not go anywhere. The second attempt, very significant attempt, it came from in the form of Government of India Act of 1919. First was the Indian effort, now the first major effort by the British rulers. That happened with the Government of India Act of 1919. This pivotal legislation was a turning point This pivotal legislation, Government of India Act of 1919, was a turning point in the process of continuous reforms, and it came about from what is called Chelmsford and Montague reforms. Now this one, the British government made a historic announcement in 2017 that they were beginning the era of progressive realization of responsible government of a limited character in India. And this historic announcement was made. That was the first partial freedom was given to Indians. And that happened in 2017. Now, see the destiny. As the luck would have it, after this announcement was made, there was a Southborough committee was sent to formulate the what we call delimitation exercise now, but to talk about the franchise. It was the franchise committee led by Lord. Now this particular provision, it happened at a very interesting time. Dr. Ambedkar was a student studying in London at that time, and because he was denied extension of scholarship, he was compelled to come back to India. And 1 week after the announcement for partial autonomy was made, Dr. Ambedkar arrived in India. Look at the destiny. And when the Southborough Committee came, Dr. Ambedkar, as a 26-year-old young man, made a presentation before the Southborough's Committee. And what did he argue? Southborough's Committee, he argued before the Southborough's Committee that the franchise should be made as broad as possible. Earlier, it was very narrow, it was confined to only 3% people. Dr. Ambedkar was the one who said that the franchise should be made as broad as possible. He was little short of saying that there should be adult franchise, universal adult franchise. Look at this. At that time in 1919, even United States did not have universal adult franchise. Women did not have right to vote in America in 1919. That happened in the year following, 1920. And here was this young man, 26 years old, who made a presentation before a foreign government that there should be almost an adult, universal adult franchise. That was the first spark that he showed as far as the Constitution makes